Alright, what's up guys, it's SPiderwolf back for another WutheringWaves video. So today we're going to be doing some summons for Cartethyia. You know, we're going to see how it goes, see if we pull her. Might try for a weapon as well. Definitely not recording this way later than when I actually did do my pulls. But yeah, with that being said, before we do start, I would really appreciate it if you guys could drop a like, comment, subscribe. Would really help me out trying to get 1,000 subscribers. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the video. Start now. Accidentally exited out. Alright, come on, cart. Alright, starting off, not that great. Okay. 2 purples. I mean, I guess not too bad. All right. Second 10 roll. Come on, Cartethyia. Now, I am guaranteed Cartethyia. I do want. Oh, there. Okay. Hey, two 10 rolls. Hey, I will fucking take that. I will gladly take that. I lost my 50-50 for fucking Peeb. So this is guaranteed Cartethyia. Yo, could you imagine if I got 2 Cartethyas in here though? Oh, let's go, chat. Let's go. Ooh, and the much hotter form, the one I'm much more of a big fan of. Damn. Hell yeah. All right. Hey, pretty huge. 2 10 rolls. All right. Hey, what can I say? You know, sometimes this game, you know, it's just yeah, it's just something else with this game. You know, sometimes the game just kind of lets give me a little bit extra luck. You know. Now the question is though, should I risk trying to get the weapon? That's the real question, because I want to pull the character that's coming in like what, 21 days here, 21 days and 9 hours. There's a character called Lupa coming out then, who I do want. Hopefully I get lucky. We just need to see gold. We just need to see gold and we're good. Okay, we didn't see gold. Fuck. No. Oh no. All right. We'll do a few more pulls here because I do got 10 from the standard banner. Maybe we can salvage a couple from these pulls, or we can just get more purples. All right, sure, man. Yeah, just give me more purples. Oh yeah, I love getting purples. I mean, you know, it wouldn't hurt, you know, if I just do a few more in the weapon banner. You know, I think one. You know, we get 4 return. I think doing another. I think doing one more. One more is fine. I think one more. This is last one right here. No more. Okay. Hey, we're just building pity. You know, we're building pity for Lupa when she comes out in 21 days. This is just gonna be for her weapon when I get her weapon, because clearly, you know, we're gonna be getting Lupa right away, right? Surely, right? Man, it's gonna suck not having a weapon. Oh well. I really would like to get it, but I didn't get that lucky.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
That's the wrong banner. I'm getting a heart attack there. That is not the banner I want to be summoned on with these free-to-play currency, or with the standard banner currency. I want to be summoned on this banner. Just buy 2 singles, try 2 more times here, and then the rest I'm gonna just be saving up for them for Lupa. No fucking way! Yo, what? Yo, let's fucking go! Yes, you never give up, Let's fucking go, chat! Yes, fuck yeah! Woo! Strongest free-to-play fucking Cartethyia. Let's go, baby. Let's fucking go. Woo! I love building up pity. Let's go. I'm probably not gonna get Lupa's weapon when she comes out, but let's go. Woo! Wow. Hey, I'm happy. I am happy. Oh man, 70. So yeah, we probably got it around somewhere between like 65 to like 70, so we got pretty close to like soft pity for the weapon here. Okay, I mean, hey, that's still pretty good. We didn't have to go to 80 pity for the most part, so hey, that's still pretty cool. Still very, very nice. All right. I'm happy. Got her weapon, got the character, we're good to go. There might be a chance though where I may not get lucky though for the next patch, because like at the very least I do hope I get the character with the amount of pulls I do have. But there's honestly a chance where I do see where I might not be able to pull that character. The character's coming in 21 days, pull her weapon. But at the same time, it is what it is. I do have standard banner 5-star sword, so I could just give her that if I need to. So for the most part, we're good. we lucked out. I'd say, for the most part. And I think they're both like DPS characters anyway, so I think we're chilling. Now the real question is, who am I swapping out? Who am I swapping out of my lineup here? Because we got Zani, second, almost tearing on my new favorite character in the game. Like, this is the character that came my last patch, this girl. This is my current favorite, or still my favorite girl in the game. When I first saw her, I was like, I need to get her. I need to get her because she's hot. She's hot. So she's still my number one, but like Zani is like really close to beating her out. And then Cantarella is just pretty hot, so I just threw it in here. So I think Cantarella might be swapped out here. I think. I mean, that tongue does a lot. If you've seen a lot of stuff with Cantarella, that tongue does wonders. I'll tell you what. Alright, well, I think it's only fair, you know. I mean, I like Cantarella. She's hot, but I kind of love these two a bit more. I think adding Fleur-de-Lis or swapping her out for Fleur-de-Lis makes the most sense. Now, Cart's nice. She's cute. Much prefer Fleur-de-Lis this form. This is the form that Chef's Kiss, like, peak quality, I will admit. All right, chat. So those pulls kind of crack low-key. Now, I will admit, you know, which might be already like the stream like clip or whatever for my subs, because, you know, if you guys are interested in seeing me do pulls live, make sure to hit the subscribe button or the follow button on Twitch, because I'll be doing streams on probably both of them for any new like Gacha games or whatever. For the most part, there's a couple of exceptions here and there, but for the most part, for any bigger ones, I will probably do pulls on stream, especially if I get a decent amount of pulls. But yeah, pretty good pulls, I'd say, overall. Now, I will admit, some of it was partially due to luck, but then the other part of it was just due to building up pity, for being honest. Because you guys remember for the Zani pulls video, I did pull quite a bit on the weapon banner, and as I think I may have left in the stream, but if not, basically, you know, I did a good amount of pulls on this banner. For when Zani's weapon was available, I didn't get her weapon, but since I had a lot of built up pity, I basically did enough to basically get me to like self pity, so I was able to get the weapons. That was cool. And then for the Cartethyia banner, I did pulls on Peeb's banner when that was rated up. I didn't get Peeb's, I lost 50-50, but I did a couple extra, and then I stopped. Once I saw Cartethyia was coming out, I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop here, which is a good thing I did, right? Because, you know, as you guys saw, I was able to get her. So pretty happy about that. And, you know, that's pretty much it with that. However, what you guys are probably more interested in is how's my Cartethyia looking, right? What exactly is my cart running? So these are my current stats right now. We're looking at 51k HP. We're looking at 130 energy regen. We're looking at 55 crit rate, and then 239 crit damage. Not amazing stats, but not too bad regardless, right? We have some resident skill, but doesn't really matter. Which one's more is basic attack, so definitely still have some work we can do here to make these better. Of course, you know, the weapon is leveled up. It does help a lot with HP. Maybe not like requirement, but like helping you basically do more damage, right? By having that, so that's very cool. And as the more important part, echoes. So yeah, these are the main echoes I'm running. I'm running the new, you know, the sword on the new set for the, you know, the new wind DPS set. Sadly though, the main, you know, as you guys can see, it's kind of dog shit, so this could be a lot better. I mean, the HP percentage and the crit damage is good. It's just the other substats are like really bad, so I definitely need to continuously farm this. I need to reform Cartethyia, or Fleur-de-Lis I should be saying, to get a better piece of this. So definitely my 4-piece needs to get better. My other 4-piece is actually quite good. 3 substats that are really good. 1 is usable, and then the other one's, you know, pretty useless, but pretty good for the most part. I'll probably reform Kepler in the future once my other pieces are like ready to go, and if I have time for it, I might reform this one, but for the most part, this is good enough for the time being. But definitely not perfect. Same thing for this one's fine for the time being. You know, we get crit rate, energy regen, HP percentage. You know, very not too, you know, it's not too bad. A high recommendation though, at least from what I've been seeing around for Cartethyia, is that you do kind of want, I think it's like anywhere between 20 to 30 energy regen. So you definitely want at least 2 to 3 of these substats on your echoes here. So make sure you guys get 20 to 30 for energy regen, so that way she can basically get her ult faster and all that goodness. And this is my other one here, HP percent, crit rate, energy regen. The two dead subsets, and this is like my worst one, cost one, which only has energy regen and crit damage, which I mean those are good, but then, you know, the other ones here are very useless in this case. So, you know, definitely still have some work to do. Kind of need to reform like most of her kit, at the very least, the fleur-de-lis sword, you need to get a better version of that. And then this one cost definitely needs to be replaced with something more useful. And then this one's like okay. This one's also okay, but not that great. And then that's pretty much where that is. But yeah, there's definitely different ways you can run this. I'm running a 4-4 and then the rest are ones, so 4-4-1-1-1 build. But you could totally run it with like the usual 4-3-3 and then 1-1 build. You could do that. And then in that regard, you could do like a crit rate or damage, whichever one you want to focus on. Probably crit rate. And then from there, the 3 costs would be like either 1 arrow, 1 HP, or double HP. You could definitely go that route as well. So it's really up to you on which way you want to handle it. If you are running 3 costs, it's probably going to be between this, I don't know, lizard dinosaur dude and then this knight here. Probably going to be running between these two. And then of course your 1 cost is basically like whatever you want. Any of these dragons, any of these things, right? So you could definitely run that version as well if you want to. But I think for the most damage one I've seen, to the like fleur-de-lis getting the most like damage bonus and all that from, the 4-4-1-1-1 set seems to be the one where you get the most damage output from this set. So that's what I would personally recommend. Now I don't know if the weapon matters necessarily, like if you want to run that set, if you do have the weapon, but if you don't have the weapon, maybe you want to run the 4-3-3-1-1 set. I'm not too sure on that regard, but you know, like I said, she's also, it's kind of interesting how like versatile she is in terms of like, you know, you don't like, you know, she can run a 4-4-1-1-1, the usual 4-3-3-1-1, or you know, something else, right? So I think that's kind of cool with this character, is that you can, she's a bit like more versatile with like how you can actually, you know, run her, right? And then for the team, basically, I'm running the team with just Arrow Rover. I sadly don't have Chiokona because I did not have that many extra pulls for Chiokona, and then I'm also running Shorekeeper. I heard other options you could run for supports are actually Sanhua, because she does have an effect here that does boost basic attack. Yeah, basic attack here. Let's see, increased by 2%. Oh, hold on. I'm pretty sure one of these is it, right? I remember one of these basically increases the ally's basic attack somewhere. Here we go. Incoming resident has their basic attack amplified by 30% for 14 seconds or until this works out. So basically, if you guys don't know, Cartethyia loves basic attack. So having that basically helps her do more damage from that, but you won't be able to use the arrow erosion, which is kind of the, you know, where she thinks more of her damage towards. But you know, Sanhua is another decent option as a support character. There's actually another character you could run. Changli, you can do a quick swap team. This one's not too bad to run. However, it's very difficult with the timing of everything. Because if you do the timing right, basically you can do her charge. You can do Changling's charge E. I mean, not charge E. The charge attack, which is her full Cartethyia energy bar meter filled up, and then swap into I think fleur-de-lis or whatever, and then you know swap to her so she can do her stuff, right? So you could. That's another option you could run, which kind of works a little bit. Is running Changli with Cart. And then basically you can run that as a quick swap team and then, you know, make it work, but it is very difficult. Or of course you could run Sanhua, or you could just do Arrow Rover and Shorekeeper. But I think for most of these teams you'll probably want to include at least Arrow Rover, just so he can help out with applying the whole arrow erosion stacks. But you know, for sure the best character to run on this team would be Chiokona. She makes it really, really easy, kind of like how Peeb was really, really good for Zani to make it really easy to apply those spectral frazzle stacks or whatever, so Zani can output a lot of damage and like stay more consistent. Kind of the same thing with Chiokona, where she's basically doing the same role but for you know, that Peeb was doing for Zani, but in this case for Cartethyia, where Rover is just like Rover is just like the weaker version of both of them, right? Where like he can still apply these things, or you know, if there's free margin, basically, yeah, Rover can apply the frazzle if you're running him a frazzle, or arrow if you're running him an arrow, like for the version of that. But of course, the problem is that Rover is one character. You can't literally use them on 2 different teams unless, like, if you're playing like Tower, right? You basically have to pick and choose at that point. Luckily, there is other alternatives to those teams, like different characters that you could run. I probably should have mentioned this on my Zani video because I only mentioned like the one team. But for Zani, you can actually run her with a few other characters. I'm pretty sure Sanhua was Sanhua is kind of like that clutch character where you literally run her on every team. Sanhua you could totally run with Zani, and then you could do Shorekeeper, I think. Marina, you know, kind of an obvious option, but like for any other free-to-play options, I think there's like one more, but I can't think of it at the top of my head of who else counts. That's a little bit more cheaper to work with. Let me just double check. Oh yeah, and then the other option is actually Mortefi. You can actually run Mortefi, but of course, you will probably want to run Rover for the Frazzle. But Mortefi can definitely help out with Zani's damage basically by boosting Rover damage. Basically, what he would be doing is he would basically be a substitute to what like Peeves buffing effects do essentially. Just reading off like the Pride one. Yeah, I do use Pride one for most of my stuff here, for most of my teams. But yeah, you could definitely use him. He's another good option. Like I said earlier, Verena is like another option. You could run her because she's just general like general buffer, right? You can run her or Shorekeeper, which is like low-key kind of better. And then Chikona also works, but Chikona is kind of like she can work with Zani, but she's not that great. But regardless, right? Chikona is more for like Cartethyia, right? Which is kind of what this video is on about. This video is about Cart here, but I just want to mention that real quick for any people that watched the last video for Zani, because I forgot to mention the other team options they can run for her. But yeah, Cart's kind of the same boat with Zani, but like maybe a little bit worse in terms of options. But at the same time, generally like has very similar options like Sanhua, right? As I mentioned earlier. Chang Li is another option. You can still totally do Shorekeeper and Verena, don't get that twisted. Those are going to be great for most teams, basically, if not for all teams. But sadly, the thing is that like with how they've been doing stuff recently, ever since Zani, right, kind of needed another character to really like amplify their damage, but you can still make it work with other characters. And then same thing with Cartethyia. I think Cartethyia does actually play her own era erosion stacks, but it's like not as consistent as it would be with having like Chikona that can apply it way easier and apply way more, not to mention stuff like Rover. Also, she does have a thing where Rover does get extra wind strings upon casting Omega Storm, so he does get some buffs with her, which is kind of cool. I do like how they do other with some characters where like Cartethyia can do buff Rover. Shorekeeper has something with when Rover's in the party. I'm pretty sure Camellia has something when Rover's in the party, so I kind of like how some characters are like that. Because it kind of makes it to where it's like, hey, it's still kind of worth to run Rover on some of these teams, which I think is kind of cool. I just kind of hope that maybe they make a QO feature in the future, or maybe we can use Rover as long as he's a different element on different teams in tower. I think that would personally be kind of cool. So maybe if you wanted to use, you had to use a Rover for the Cart team, right? Then if you swap him to Spectro, you can run him on a different, different floor with Zani, and since he's a different element, that would count separately, right? I think that would be kind of cool personally, but they probably don't really want to do that, at least not yet, because of the fact that, they kind of want to sell these like buff characters like Chikona, Peeb to an extent, but to be honest, Peeb's also like just really, really good by herself as the DPS anyways. So, it's kind of funny, like Peeb's kind of like the low-key universal unit. Looks like she's the DPS, she's a buffer at the same time for Zani, which is kind of cool and funny to me. But yeah, that's pretty much about it, I think. Also, if you guys are interested in Lupa, which I am, we will be doing pulls for her when she comes out. So, but sadly though, there's a chance that I might be able to get her, but the sadly part comes in the fact that I might not be able to roll her weapon, but that, it is what it is. I basically had to pick and choose, like, did I want Cartethia's weapon or did I want Lupa's? I ended up saying fuck it, and we ended up getting Cartethia's, so it is what it is. But yeah, if you guys are wondering though for her stuff really quickly at the end of the video here, probably want to farm this boss. This boss does use materials for Cart, but it's probably going to use materials for Lupa as well. Not to mention that the actual echo from this boss is most likely going to be the main 4-star 4-cost echo for Lupa, probably, as well as if you guys didn't know, there's a new actual set for the fire teams, which Lupa's probably going to want to use, right? There's actually let's see, where was it? The area where you can actually farm the new set. Yeah, it's on the island here. Yeah, so this is what the new set is basically for the fusion team. So basically, if you liberate casting Resonance Liberation, increase fusion damage of Resonators and team by 50%, and casters Resonance Liberation damage by 20%. So pretty cool stuff. I don't know if this is going to be better for Chang Li or if it's better to stick with Chang Li on the current set, the current fire set. I'm honestly not too sure. But what I am pretty sure is that this should probably be the Lupa's main set. So if you guys are interested in Lupa, when I pre-farm for her, she's probably going to be using this stuff here. And then she's probably going to be using the boss materials here. And then in terms of what her resource is like whatever like she's gonna use for ascension materials. It should be in the shop because one of the shops here somewhere around here, because it did basically have only 2 available things that count towards ascension items. One of them was for Fleur de Lis's new thing, and then there was actually a new item in there that did basically say, oh, this is for ascension materials. But I don't remember what it looked like exactly. But yeah, there's like a shop where you can buy. Let me see. Where it was definitely one of these. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it really quick, chat. Yeah, so it should be this fungi, heliobane fungi. This should probably be the one that is going to be what Lupa uses, and you can get it in the shop as well. So yeah, basically if you guys are interested in Lupa, this is another thing you probably want to try and go out and farm. Though I think you can maybe only buy it in the shop, I'm not too sure. Also, if you guys have played this story, which actually, I was surprised the story is really short this time around, but I think it's fine. I also kind of like it that way. But yeah, going back to this, if you play the story, you know, you would kind of get this would, you know, it would kind of relate back to the story with the whole fact that it's like fungi and looks like this with what's going on in the story. But yeah, this looks like so far you can only buy it in the markets though. It does say Philios Falls or something like that, but I don't know if that's like a secret area or if it's like an area you have to wait till like maybe next patch or maybe like the second half when Lupa actually comes out, because you know Lupa is going to be coming out in a couple of weeks, right? Like we only got like how many weeks? Like 3-ish weeks until Lupa comes out, so we still have quite a bit of time before she comes out, but not too much time. So it should be like around out in around July, like I think the 2nd or 3rd of July. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. You know, we got some new events here. We got a card event, exploration stuff, you know, all the usual good stuff as well. So make sure to have fun with the game, guys. You know, enjoy all that, keep the grind. You know, some new outfits as well. Of course, if you guys are still summoning for Cart, good luck with summoning for her. I think she's a really good character. I think she's pretty strong. Low-key kind of feel like she's better than Zani in my opinion. I do love Zani more, at least in terms of character, but I think gameplay wise I'd say they're about the same, but I think I slightly lean towards Cartethyia a bit more, just because I feel like it's easier to get to her like cooler other form really easily, and I feel like she's a bit more of a simpler character to use than Zani. But this is time I don't have P, right? So I don't have the easier application of Spectre Dazzle. But I think that should pretty much wrap it up. This video is already going way too long, but I hope you guys enjoy that, and I will see all of you guys later when Lupa comes out. So, but that being said though, good luck with you guys summons. I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace and take care, everybody.